these past few days, and we had stuck together like glue from the beginning. With Thor, Freya, Indiana, and Aubrey all attending the summit in the Motherlands this week, Sparrow had showed me around and asked me at least 100 questions about my homeland. She was by far the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen, and at the same time she was completely off-limits. The threats from Indiana and Aubrey that hung over my head if I touched a Northlander woman were substantial. In their culture, no one slept around for fun. Sex was all serious business, it seemed. As I sat on the grass outside the school where Sparrow lived with her parents, I watched Sparrow teach a fight lesson to 8 young teenagers. My physical attraction to her had been instant, but over these past days, that attraction had grown to an extent that was like nothing I'd ever experienced. Maybe it was because I couldn't have her that my desire for Sparrow was so extreme. She was funny, intelligent, brave, curious, and cute all at the same time. Visually soaking up the pearls of sweat dripping down the side of Sparrow's neck, my mind tortured me for the 100th time these past days with images of what would never be. If we were back in Europe, I would have dismissed the kids and seduced her. I wanted to lick that pearl away so bad that I could practically taste the salt on my tongue. What I didn't understand was how a deity like Sparrow could still be untouched. We had discussed it while walking in the forest with her 2 brothers yesterday. They had called her picky because, apparently, both Sparrow and Aubrey had always had plenty of suitors, but they had impossible expectations and rejected everyone who offered them marriage. Ryder, Sparrow's brother, had joked that Sparrow had received more than 20 proposals, and she had corrected the number to 16. If I had been born here and shared their culture, I would have proposed to her as well. But we French people didn't marry or have committed relationships. There were laws against it that went back to the bleak history of the original survivors of the toxic war 400 years ago. Surviving underground required rigid systems and laws. There was no room for the emotional insanities that came with love. "I told you to keep those hands up," Sparrow lectured a boy who was as tall as her. Because I'd seen Aubrey and Indiana fight in old Europe, it didn't surprise me how good Sparrow was. Even the teenage students at the school that her family ran had better techniques than most fighters back home. I hadn't started fighting until 4 years ago, when my friend Elmar had introduced me to the underground fight club. Since Indiana and Aubrey began training me, I'd won most of my fights. Still, I wanted to be as smooth and fast as they were. After the session with the children, Sparrow came to sit next to me. She was sweaty and out of breath, reaching for her water. "How did you become so flexible? You and Aubrey both look like acrobats when you fight." "It's nice of you to compare me to Aubrey, but she's in a league of her own." "You're good, Sparrow. Really good." She shrugged. "I know, but Aubrey kicks my ass. I think her parents gave her steroids for breakfast as a child." "For real?" My eyes widened because that would explain a lot. Her laugh made a bit of water spill from her mouth. Using her left hand, she dried it away. "No, silly. Of course they didn't feed her steroids. She's just blessed with amazing genes. All the Aureliuses are." "Not Freya. She told me she doesn't know how to fight." Yeah, Freya." Sparrow frowned and looked away. "What about Freya?" She was quiet for a long moment, plucking the grass with a thoughtful expression. "She's always been different." "You don't like her?" Meeting my gaze, she emphasized, "I love Freya. She's just different." "Oh, she seems normal to me. I enjoyed spending time with her and her mother Pearl when they took me to meet their friends in the Motherlands." "I know. Freya is kind, and it would be difficult to find someone who doesn't like her, but it's..."